At this point, you've closed out the attorney review period and have deposited any additional earnest money needed per the contract. Congratulations, the heavy lifting is over. Now, we're essentially waiting for your lender to finalize your loan package, and we're getting you packed and ready for the move.
So once we've gone under contract, you guys will, as a team, take the contract in, look at the terms, look at the price, and fully apply with the buyer. What does that process look like, and how is that different than the pre-approval?
Yep. So remember, the pre-approval is to confirm what your buying power is. When a buyer goes under contract, we have a second call with them to review their financing goals. Are they still putting 10% down, or do they want to change it to 20, right? What are the interest rates? Do they still want to fix, or do they want to take a look at a 7-year ARM? So the first thing we do is we re-review the financing goals, we lock in their interest rate to confirm their payment, and then we send them a series of documents to apply for the mortgage. From there, we update any financials that we need, bank statements, tax returns, W-2s, and we get the loan into underwriting. Underwriting is risk assessment. We basically take someone apart like a puzzle and put them back together and make sure they qualify for the loan. So we take a peek at their income, their credit, their savings again. We order an appraisal because we need to make sure that if they're paying $500,000, it appraises for $500,000. And by week 2, we have the loan approval back, we have the appraisal back, and then we're working on any ancillary items that are lingering on the back end, like getting their insurance, giving their final earnest money, and just getting prepared for the closing.
And once you've got clear to close, or from when the underwriter essentially says that they have met the financial needs and everything looks good, everything from, if you're buying an HOA, everything from the HOA perspective looks good, you get and you offer a clear to close. What does that clear to close mean?
Yeah, a clear to close means that all of the financials, the contract, the credit, the appraisal, the insurance, every element that determines whether or not you can get a loan has been reviewed and signed off on, and the loan approval process is complete. You are officially clear to close. From there, the attorney scheduled the closing. The buyer then gets a final breakdown of what their cash to close is, less any expenses they've already paid. And then we all meet at the closing table, sign some paperwork, high five, here's the keys, off you go.
You're a homeowner.
You're a homeowner.
Nice. So if you had to wrap it up in a nice package, what happens timeline perspective when a buyer goes under contract?
Yep. So most real estate transactions take about 30 days. In the first week, we re-review the loan terms, lock in the buyer's interest rate, send them their loan application, and order the appraisal. By week 2, their loan's in underwriting and approved. The appraiser has gone up to the property and given us the appraisal back, right? By week 3, we're collecting any ancillary items that might not have been available in week 1, getting those back to the underwriter. We get the final approval issued, which means we are clear to close. And by week 4, all the final numbers get reconciled. The buyer knows exactly how much they need at closing. They do a final walkthrough with you to make sure the property's in the same condition. And everyone meets at the closing table to sign the paperwork and get the keys.
Nice. That's pretty easy.
Either the day before or the morning of closing, depending on when closing's scheduled for, we're going to have the opportunity to do a final walkthrough of the property. This allows us to make sure that the home is in expected condition and that any potential inspection items were fixed before you sign on the dotted line. If everything looks as expected in the home, you'll head off to the title company with your attorney for closing. At closing, it seems like it's going to be this big, scary, and exciting process, but unfortunately, it's rather mundane. You'll sign a bunch of paperwork with your attorney, and once that's done, the lender will send over all of their funds from the loan, and you will essentially be funded. And in a very anticlimactic fashion, you will officially take ownership of the home and get a set of keys. See, it's not as scary as you may think. Buying a home can be a very easy process with the right tools and the right people on your side. And if you still have questions that these videos may not have answered, please feel free to reach out to me. All of my links to social media are in the description below. Now let's get you started on a home search.